I will be talking about now is what I will be talking about is the fashion translation or translation for fashion shows what are the problems or elements that you need to be aware of when you are translating videos or material that is in the area of fashion and makeup or makeover, as they call it sometimes, depending on what's because there's a difference between makeover and make-up. Makeover is تسريحة أو إطلالة, and make-up is تزيين أو مكياج أو تزين أو التبرج كما يعرف في اللغة العربية. So basically, I'm just trying to use some words that are in Arabic only because it is related to how to deal with some words that are used in fashion or makeup. Now, the first element in fashion translation is the terminology, which is the terms and the glossaries that you need to prepare first. And you need also to be aware of what they mean. For example, what's the meaning of, or what does it mean to you? For example, chiffon. What does it mean? And there is also dentelle, which is used as a kind of material which is used at the end of a dress or on the sides of the dress. And what does the word shift dress mean? And shift dress is straight dress with got a neck and sleeveless, and it is straight and it comes down to the knees. What is an A skirt, for example? An A skirt is a skirt where it's similar to the shape of A in English, which is that it is very tiny at the waist, and it expands as it goes down to further down to the knees or to the feet. And there is also pencil skirt. Pencil skirt, it means it's a skirt which is quite tight and quite short, and that is another term. Now these, of course, the chiffon, of course, it means it is quite, it's a see-through kind of material. So basically, whether we're talking about clothes for male or females, for females or males, we need to know the different types of clothes. The V neck, for example, it is in the shape of V for a shirt or for a sweater. And all of these, or jumper, all of these you need to know what they are. What is a jersey, for example? It's a kind of top that is worn by men and women. So it's not the island jersey. Maybe it's made in Jersey, that's why it's called jersey. But having polo neck, for example, a polo neck shirt or top, it means it has got the neck of polo players who play polo when they are riding on the horses, and they are hitting the balls with the sticks and so on. So basically, the terminology is extremely important in fashion translation. And not only the terminology and the glossary, which is quite challenging, shall we say. There are also, it is the actual style which is used, which is very much advertising. It is very much related to advertising translation. And in advertising translation, if you read Routledge, Baker's Routledge Encyclopedia of Translation Studies, you will find that there is one chapter on advertising. So advertising and fashion are quite linked. And there is, of course, catwalk. For example, what is the catwalk? Of course, it's an actual platform on which that the models will move or walk on. That's called that platform where they walk is called catwalk. And catwalk shows, and these are also. And then you've got Fashion Week and haute couture. Haute couture is the very highly designed clothes. So couture is types of clothes that are sometimes they call them houses of fashion in Arabic, دور الأزياء or بيوت الأزياء. So this is haute couture. It's quite a highly designed and tailored kind of clothes. So therefore, when you don't know what these words mean, then it's not possible for you to actually produce a text, a target text that's understandable and can be comprehensible by the readers, because your readership, you need to be aware that your readership are all specialized in the area, and buyers in fashion texts, they are actually the traders who are actually seeking all the latest trends and fashions. Like, for example, Dick Tracy. What is Dick Tracy? Dick Tracy is a kind of hat. And there are so many types of hats and names to them as well. Also, the brand names is yet another element in fashion, which is relating to, for example, Calvin Klein or any other names, Gucci and so on. These are names that are related to certain brands, and you need to be aware what they mean. And that is yet another element. And when I'm saying you, I mean you as a translator. You need to be aware of these names and what they are, what's their influence and what kind of designs they do, and then also there is an element of which you could come across as being a little bit difficult, is advertising for fashion. For example, elegance in blue. Elegance in blue is, let's say, a motto or a slogan, and that's a kind of advertising. Excuse me. It's a kind of advertising, and that is relating to what is called in tourism translation the push and pull factors, how to attract attention, how to attract the attention of your readership, and know how to pull them into the items that you are trying to advertise. Because when you're translating fashion, you're translating these clothes which are going to be bought by, you're translating them for clients who are trying to advertise some items of clothing, and they want you to put it in such a way that is attractive, that pulls the clients or the customers to buy such items. And that includes also shoes and like, for example, trainers or kickers and plimsolls, for example. There are some differences between plimsolls and kickers and trainers, and then you get some words, some names like sketches and that are linked with the shoes, and then you need to be aware of these, and you know what these brand names are and what are the items that are linked with them, whether they are suits or shoes, trousers or shirts or dresses or hats. And this is really extremely important that you need to be aware of. So, I mean, the idea of push and pull, which is like as factors, pulling the actual customers and pushing kind of items to show them to the customers through your translation. So your translation is not really just word for word. You need to be thinking about how to make your translation slightly persuasive, because persuasiveness and creativity are also important in this kind of translation, because you are trying to select certain words and know that these words that are being used in that area, in that field, and will be understood. Now, moving on to another element which is relating to or related to the elements related to makeup. Now here, of course, we are moving towards different styles of hair, for example, ringlets, you know, and straight hair, straighteners. What are the straighteners? Trimmers, different types of trimmers for hair. When you are trying to design the hair, highlights of the hair when you are making the hair different colors. So these words, like for example the word highlights, it means it's quite different. The highlights in sports, for example, when you're translating for sports, where you have the highlights of the match, and that is a completely different thing. I will talk about that at another time with regards to sports translation. But with regards to the makeup, maybe I should leave it for another session and leave it at this moment just for fashion translation.